What? Is even up. It's your boy Crabman. My boy Heckenstein and my wife.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Hypnotic Hootout.
Was good acting. I didn't mean the hug, I meant the what. Just to be clear.
Wait, what's happening there?
Hey, well.
Oh, wow. We got just full on stuck for a second. Wait.
You were still stuck, probably. Oh, it's getting better. Getting better.
Wait, let me
Getting
quit
And it's good
Firefox.
again.
I think that may
you
have
should be
been
able.
just my system being memory maxed out. Because we only lost 14 frames. Look at that. But now it should be... Well, hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
So how are we all doing?
Confused.
Mm-hmm.
Good and confused.
Wounded.
No.
No.
Oh, no.
Happy to see our friend again.
Me too.
Haven't seen you in a long, long time.
Yeah, it's been a while again.
Yeah.
2 weeks, right? Since our last Hootout.
Indeed.
You've
Yes.
been busy.
Yes.
So busy. I've been
Very.
really busy. Yeah.
Very. So tell us more about that if you like.
So on Monday, I was. Oh yeah. So last week, my parents were there. So I showed them a bit of Leipzig, and then we drove down again to Konstanz to go on, stag night. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Stag night.
Reverse stag night.
Well, it's not a reverse, but it's a late, very late stag night.
Well,
I'd say a reverse stag night would be if you were separating. So if you're divorcing, then
okay.
you. But that would be also like, is it a party just with girls then, or?
I guess so.
That would be, yeah. But you're also not
I
part
guess
of it.
it's the going to the strip club after you've gotten divorced.
Oh, is that what it is?
And having one dude there who dresses himself? I don't know.
A reverse strip club. Interesting. Just throw clothes and then they put him on.
And they pay you for it.
It's kind of nice. Like
That sounds good.
yeah. Interesting. No, but no, it was stag night, so we decided to go hiking, and for that reason, we went over the border to Switzerland, where we hiked. Yeah, it was kind of nice. Wasn't too stag nighty, like with a few exceptions. So we went there. We had beer in our backpacks. Started drinking immediately. The guy who organized the stuff, he wasn't from around there, so he was just looking at his phone, like Google Mapsing the way, like we should go right now, and everybody's looking like at this small pathway in the woods, like, are you sure? Yes, that should be the way. And then we followed. Every now and then he said like, no, we're gonna make a game, we're gonna play.
Here you go.
And you're distracting me, guys.
Yeah, oh,
No,
okay.
we're
Also,
just
we are-
ramping up our viewership.
Oh, nice.
But I
I'm
believe...
sharp again.
Oh yeah,
Anyway.
I'm gonna give it another minute because I just turned it on.
That's a good idea. Yeah, so every now and then we're gonna stop, play some games. I don't know, just like throw stuff around. He had to drink some water, keep it in his mouth, and then gurgle music. So he got shown like track, and he had to gurgle it, and we had to guess what it is. If we couldn't guess it in I don't know how many tries, we would have to drink a Jägermeister. If he managed to do it, he would, or the other way around probably. Anyway, we drank lots of beer and Jägermeister. Then at some point we crashed, I think not one but two Pathfinder groups. Like one was just children and one was like a bit larger children. This was the middle of the woods, so we came through one of these paths that aren't really paths. We had to go down like a hill over a river. Everybody with one beer in their hand. Oh my god! They're like everywhere, like young children looking at us, confused what we are doing there. It was fun, and then we went back. My parents brought over the alcohol. They were kind enough to just drive it over the border, even though technically it's too much for just two persons. So they would have to pay like special taxes or something. But they didn't.
There is such a thing.
Yeah.
But they didn't get caught because they live there, so nobody checks the cars that are like there.
I see.
Out there. It took a while to find us because we really were like in a weird spot. My mom brought some cake, which everybody liked, and then we bought I think meat for 10 people, but in the end we were just 6. But we ate it anyway. We had like 3 crates of beer, Jägermeister and stuff, and it also was a little bit much, but we did our best. Walked around there for a bit, then went back to the groom's flat.
Yeah.
Which is a very nice flat in Konstanz. And then decided randomly around like 11 that we should go and for a swim in the Lake of Constance. So we dressed him up as a clown and walked through the street, like the main city, to the nice place where, like along the lake, where like lots of youth and are partying anyway. Everybody had a lot of fun, especially when we went outside. Like immediately there was like a larger group of girls coming our way, and they just saw him and started laughing and laughing and laughing. And before us was walking a group of guys who were not aware that we are walking behind them, and they were really upset and confused why this group of girls would walk past them and then start laughing like crazy until they turned around and saw Tim, like the groom.
Then they really...
And then they were like, oh my god, you are behind us.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We were so confused and like confidence broken. They just started laughing at us like that. That was fun. We went for a swim until some guy came out of his house to tell everybody in front there that he wants to sleep and he has 2 kids and we should be silent. And we were like, sorry. We're gonna be silent. And he's like, Urgh. He turns around, goes away, and one of us says like, I'm also like, my house is in front of like a huge road, and I'm always upset that the cars are driving there. And then he came back like, oh, are you making fun of me? And we were like, what? What are you? I think we were 6 drunk people in the lake, and he's like, just one guy. I don't know. He came back like 3 times because we kept talking, and he didn't like it. We weren't like taking it so seriously, but of course we were like, okay, we're gonna go outside at the lake and blah blah.
Was it that late? I kind of pictured it as a day trip.
Yeah, it was when we went back again, so it was around 11.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
But it wasn't 12 yet, so...
Yeah.
I guess it's after 10.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you and after 10. Yo, people here. And after 10.
Also in Leipziger fashion, I didn't bring swim trousers, so I was the only one naked there. It was a bit interesting. But I don't know. I don't feel that we need trousers to swim. It's kind of it's also much freer and nicer.
Yeah, and some of us need to be blind before we see other people who are naked swimming. So, no.
Yeah. But I don't know. That was really nice. It was Saturday, I think, and Sunday we went to a spa for some sauna and stuff, and it was also really relaxing. Yeah, ate something, got drunk again, and I went home. Got more drunk.
Good.
Yeah. On Monday that was the week before. I kind of got addicted to Quake again. To Quake 3 Arena. So there's a Quake Live now, which is basically Quake 3 but just improved, better matchmaking and not better matchmaking, but just like the options are now better. Because if you play Quake, you turn down the graphics as low as possible. Then you force the enemies to have all the same character, like the biggest character. Then you turn the colors, you force them to be green. And back then you had to do it all in the configuration file by hand. And now you can just do that in the configuration in the menu, which is nice. But then, yeah, I played every day. Every time I had like some time, I started playing, which was really bad because I couldn't really sleep because it was too much action. I couldn't go to sleep right away, but when I was awake, I was like, I can just play another round, right? I'm not tired at all. Yeah, and then you know how it is sometimes when you've got earworm, like a song stuck in your ear.
Oh yes, I do.
You can't get rid of it, but there's always one method to get rid of it. A better
Play it.
earworm.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's what happened to me, because my brother got me addicted to Magic the Gathering again. So I'm back on that track. So they're all playing Commander decks now. You don't know Magic at all. Right?
I know neither of these things actually.
You don't know Quake?
I mean, I know of Quake, sort of. Is that like the precursor of Unreal? Is that the same engine or something?
A different engine, but it's similar style.
Oh, I thought that Unreal was sort of like the next version of Quake or something. But I also didn't play Unreal, so you know,
I don't
that
think
doesn't.
so. Yeah.
No, I just know that of it from back in the day, but I've never played it. The only game, well, again, Unreal, but Unreal Tournament is the only thing that I briefly played for 5 minutes, and that's about it.
I really loved that too back in the day.
Wait, I did play Unreal 2. Yes, that's the only game that I actually played.
Friend of mine was one of the top players, at least in Germany, for Unreal Tournament for a while. He was like, I think 12 at the time. Everybody else was like 18 or 20. And yeah, he was like the best player in their clan, and they were like top whatever clan. Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, I'm a role-playing guy. I love role-playing games mostly. I love card games. But shooters, like, that's where I started, I think. Like, I played Counter-Strike for a while in a clan, then Quake 3, then I stopped playing Counter-Strike at all. Started to mock it. I don't like Counter-Strike anymore. But Quake 1 is I haven't really played Quake 1 or 2. A little bit, like testing it, and it's kind of nice. But Quake 3 is just, it's just perfect. It's like the perfect combination of movement, smooth movement, and like really quick action, shooter action. And it's not like trying to be realistic or trying to be brutal. I mean, I guess there was like settings that you can, if you shoot someone, like the blood falls around and like, I don't know. But you turn that off because it's distracting. You want to be, because it's such a fast game, you really need everything to be as clear as possible. It's just a beautiful game. It's such a beautiful game. You run around, you're always running. There's no sprint button. There wasn't never a sprint button back in the day anyway. Which was a bit confusing because on the shift key I usually sprint. Yeah. But now there's just like crouch and walking slow.
Okay.
So
I see.
So at first I had real troubles because I was like running around and crouching. Although I wanted to go faster, so I had to relearn that or unlearn this bad habit. Yeah. And then in Quake 3 it has the strafe jump movement. So you can run around, but if you run forward and to the left, you're faster because both forces add
Sure.
So you have to you can run like, just tilt the camera a bit and push these, and you're basically strafing. But you can get even faster if you jump. So
Sure.
So
I was just about to say that's kind of the bunny hopping principle, and then you add that to it. And
Exactly.
You have 3 propelling you.
but it goes even farther because you can turn the camera and you get some momentum with that.
Nice.
So you just all the time like left, right, and then it's just, and if it works, you get really fast, and it's such a nice feeling. And then even more so if you play mods or like game modes like Rocket Arena or Clan Arena, where your own rockets don't hurt you or your own weapons. So you can just shoot at your feet, jump, and then you fly through. And especially if you like tilt the camera before, shoot at the jump, and you're already strafing, then you're like flying through the level. And it's so much fun. But you're so fast, everybody's so fast, so you have to be really quick with the shooting. And you have the different weapons, the rocket launcher, the railgun. Like every weapon has its purpose. And you gotta, and in Clan Arena you have all of them. So you want to map them all around the movement keys. And you need to have them memorized. So you go like, oh, now I need the railgun, and then you have to switch. It takes a little bit to switch, so you need to know the time when you can hit the mouse button to shoot. And it's just such an art to be good at this, and I'm like always the worst player. I'm just fighting for last place usually with someone who just joined like a couple of minutes ago. But it's so much fun. It's really an amazing game. Still is an amazing game. There aren't too many players, but there's still like a good amount of servers, dedicated servers with maps there. Just need to get used to the strafe jumping, because I can do it a little bit, but I'm not as fast as I was used, and like my aim is off as well. But I can feel that I get back to my old form, which wasn't great either. But I don't know, it's nostalgia, but it's also like really fulfilling in this movement, the smooth and the shooting. And if someone like flies around and you like just turning over to shoot a rocket and then you hit him in the air and he dies, it's like, oh, it's such a great feeling. It's hard to pull. It's really hard to pull off because everything is so fast. But if you do, then it's the best. And people there are crazy. I mean, they still do their like videos, like the cool music, just what they were able to do. Like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go back to maybe some of the older shooters, play them, maybe play through Quake 1 story mode and 2. Amazing. Yeah, but I completely stopped when my brother introduced me. He was like, you gotta play, and so I think like 10 years ago or so. You gotta slow me down if I'm too fast and like jumping from topic to topic too much.
Did you just jump topic?
Kind of too Magic
Yeah,
the Gathering.
we were like, how are you?
Oh,
And then-
Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
We're not there.
well then, I mean, just quickly
Yeah.
tell you about the only... No, I never played like multiplayer games. That was not really something that I was really... I also never did LAN parties or anything. So the only... Or like one of the very, very few, of course I tried one or two. Right? But there was a Star Wars one. But I don't know if it was one of those BioWare. I don't think it was a BioWare.
There are a couple of Star Wars.
I just remember it was a multiplayer thing, and you could force lift people, and
Played it a bit as well.
and I just loved running around, grabbing people, and throwing them off off the platforms. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
But I also only played it like for a week or two. So I don't know, multiplayer, that was never really something I got into. Also Counter-Strike and stuff, I never played that. Tried once or twice and was like, I'm good.
it's a bit hard to get into, especially now. And these games, they've got really toxic players. I mean, Quake 3 is kind of okay. Just got one asshole who was like, you're leaving me alone all the time. If we gotta start this, you gotta be at the bridge. We all have to be at the bridge, man. Have you played before? But he was quickly shut down by everybody else. Counter-Strike, I know. Back in the day, that was the worst. Like, kids screaming at you, obscenities, and I don't know about racism, sexism back then.
Probably.
But now, for sure.
I mean, I doubt it was better back in the day.
Yeah, but I didn't realize it, I'm sure. Like the worst obscenities that came to mind, you would write and shout as much as possible. It was not me, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just too harmony-loving guy. The people get upset with these games because I know your pulse goes up, and then you're like all the time you're on the edge of like this flow state, and then especially if you like die repeatedly fast one after the other, and then you have to wait for everybody else to finish, and then you start again, you die again, because like in Clan Arena you play like maybe 3-on-3 or 4-on-4. Everybody got like full armor and full health, and then your weapons don't make damage you or your allies, and then you just fight it out. If someone dies, he stays out until one team is completely dead, and then you get a point. Your team gets a point. It's so nice. Like every weapon there is it's hard to describe.
Well, one game that I played for a little bit when I was 11th, 12th grade was it was called Cube.
Oh yeah.
You know this?
It's pretty near to Quake, yeah. There was a Linux version.
Yeah, it was kind of a free indie thingy, right?
Yeah.
But the most fun I had with that, there was one round that I played one evening where it was like insta-kill, so that you only had 1% of the health when you like just,
And you get the ray gun, right? So one-shot kills.
I just remember you can jump ridiculously high in that, right?
Yeah, you can do wall jumps, I think.
Ooh. That's something. It was fast, it was what you described. There was this flow, and you just, and then you get there before he gets you, and it's like, that was really fun, yeah.
Exactly, that's the experience of Quake, and what I like about Quake. Which also is just like from design standpoint, it's really nice. You start with 100 health. No, your normal health is 100. If you got more than that, it counts down every second until you're on 100. Right. You start with 120 health, so you got a little bit of a support when you spawn, and then you can get like up to 200 health with like mega health and stuff like that, or you can get regeneration. And again, like every weapon is really interesting. It's really in a different way. Like you start with a machine gun, like not a pistol. No, you start with a machine gun, and it's really accurate and it does okay damage. So it's really nice. It's a good weapon. You still use it in the end if you want to shoot far away people, because it hits scans, I think. So there are no projectiles. Then it's got a shotgun which spreads but does a lot of damage. So if you're near someone, this is a perfect gun. Also hit scans, I think, so it's no projectiles to dodge. You can't dodge the shotgun. You got your rocket launcher, which flies, does great splash damage. You've got a lightning gun, which has limited range, but does pretty sustained fast damage. So if you like mid-range, that's really good. You've got a plasma gun, which shoots like eggs, basically, plasma eggs, which each of them does decent damage, shoots in a decent rate, but you can't dodge them because they are slower. That's really interesting. You can also like go on a wall, shoot yourself up with that if you're good. It's interesting. And like the movement and the shooting up, that's all like they implemented it. The physics just allowed for that, and then around that there's this meta just evolved, and they didn't like patch it out or something, which is nice. Then you got like what else do you have? the railgun, which hits scans, but it takes a long time to reload basically. But there's no you can shoot, and then it takes a bit, and then you can shoot again. There's no reloading or stuff in that. It's a perfect game. I think it does what it's supposed to do perfectly. And yeah, you can still I don't know how old that game is now, but you can play it now, and it's still perfect. I want to play it again. It's the first thing that I did. I installed it on my laptop to play on this little tiny screen. It still was fun. But yeah, my brother. So my brother has been back in the day. I've been playing Magic the Gathering. Well, a lot is probably the right word. Yeah, a lot. I was buying cards. I mean, even when I started game development professionally, and I made money. I made enough money, then I started buying cards online again, and I love it. It's really an awesome game. It's so complex now. So many I think they have 3 or 4 releases every year, if not more. It's all new cards. Some are reprinted, but a lot of new cards with new mechanics that interact with every other card, and it's crazy what they're able to do. But this turned me off because it's new cards. Maybe I didn't like the theme they were going for or the mechanic, and there's also some power creep all the time. Hey, talking about Magic the Gathering. There's some power creep. So you like your old cards. You've got some ridiculously strong old cards when they didn't quite know how they would go, and then the interactions became too good. But all in all, when I was playing actively and buying cards, that was I was on the power level, but when I stopped, the power level kept rising. Then I started playing again. Then it felt all kind of weird. There were cards that cost the same amount of mana, but were just better in every regard. And it's now my old cards aren't worth anything anymore. It's not quite that, because there are always a couple of cards that are pretty strong from the olds. And then I didn't play for a long time mostly because they changed formats more or less. Not Magic itself, but the groups I would play in. So when we first started, we just bought a pack of cards, and then we took that and played with that. And it was really wonky, and you didn't really understand why this is supposed to be good. But it was kind of, the fantasy was nice, the art was nice. You were I can do something. Then you would meet people who had cool decks where everything fit together. And then you understood, I need more cards, then I can build a good deck. Then you start that. You want to just have one strong deck. You take you're not really selecting what to play. You're just looking at the cards you have, and you're thinking, how can I make the strongest deck out of what I have? Then there was a lot of trading. I remember trading cards like crazy. I also remember trading away cards that are now worth 400 euros. Yeah. And they were 30 euros back in the day, and I was this card's gonna be banned. It's too strong anyway, so I'll get rid of it now. And now I'm wow. And if we can, who knows? You never know. Well, and then came then I had enough cards to build cool decks, and then I would build decks that I strong deck, but fun decks, just to play in a group. And you always had one guy who invested too much money and had the strongest deck. It was kind of annoying to play against him, but everybody else had wonky decks, so you could play your fun deck. Everybody had fun. You can play one-on-one, but you can also play in groups. It's kind of designed to play one-on-one, but they quickly realized that group play is also a thing, so they printed cards for that. And then the players came up with cool ways to play differently. For example, you could, if you got like 5 people, you can play not a round, but in a pentagram, and you wouldn't have to kill everybody, but only the people that came before and after you, which gave this like a nice really flow and interesting interactions, because left and right of you, these are kind of your friends. They have the same enemies, different enemies.
Oh, interesting.
But you don't mind them. Like, they could help you even if you hurt them, and that's kind of cool. The players came up with that, and then at some point they said like, yeah, let's build Highlander decks. 100 cards. Every card can be only once in there, except standard land cards, because normal Magic the Gathering deck is 60 cards, about 20 something lands, and then the rest whatever you play. And you can play every card 4 times, except like lands you can play more. So this is really a different kind of deck building than a Highlander. 100 cards, and they are way slower, way wonkier. Someone thought of the idea of playing with some really big multicolored cards. They were really there weren't many multicolored cards back in the day, really rare, and there were a kind of card that was called an Elder Dragon. I think that was their creature type. They were Elder Dragons, so they cost a lot of mana. They were big creatures. They had some interesting effects. So they said, let's do an Elder Dragon Highlander, and the Elder Dragon he's your commander. You can play. He's outside of your deck. You can play him from there. If he dies, he lands outside again, and then you can play him again for just 2 mana more, which is kind of nice. Gives the deck kind of like a consistency, because you always have that. You have this Elder Dragon kind of as a win condition, or like a goal to play towards. And you can only play the colors your Elder Dragon has, which is nice. So somehow, like, this was just some weird guys would play that back in the day. So now 10 years later, Commander is officially accepted by Magic the Gathering. They print Commander. They have official Commander rules. They even give you pre-constructed Commander decks. And I didn't like that, because again, you need a lot of new cards. You can play, that's the cool thing, a lot of the old cards you couldn't play in your 60 cards deck, because you can play the good card 4 times. Why would you need like the others that are quite as good or like a little different?
Yeah.
So now you can play a lot of the cards you couldn't play before. But I never got into it, because like I built like one deck after like everybody else had like just Commander decks, and I was like, okay, let's try this again. Let's build just one. It's a weird kind of building if you got like 100 different cards basically. Except, before I had like 60 cards, 4 cards of one type most of the time. Way easier to build a good deck. A consistent deck, a deck with synergy that makes sense. Now 100 cards, just completely different deck building. I didn't even know how many lands I have to have in there. And so the decks didn't feel right. I thought it's a phase. People will come back. But yeah, I had just like a couple strong decks, a couple of fun decks, and everybody else had Commander decks. So I didn't play for, I guess, 10 years or so. But yeah, my brother I don't know what he did. Like a lot of people I know that play Magic only play Commander, and they were all like urging me to try Commander again. So this time around, yeah, I know what it was. I came back, and my brother has now a card collection that is probably twice the number of cards I have. And like the money he put in, I don't know, 10 times maybe, 20. He's got a lot of cards. I have like one little card, what's it, Ordner? Yeah.
So card thingy.
A little book of the rare cards I would bring to people to
It's like
trade.
an album or
An album, yeah, card album. He's got like 2 big ones that are really fat. Like mine's is like this. But, he's sorted all his cards by the edition they came out and then the number on the card when they were printed or like designed, which is a bit excessive, but I like it. Got used to it. So now I had like all these cards to choose from. Yeah, folder, I guess, maybe. And yeah, just sat down and I said, oh, okay, I love my elf deck. Let's just, because nobody's playing against my elf deck anymore, let's take this and make this a commander deck, because I saw a couple of good commanders for this kind of deck. So I started building, and that's all I did for a week. Like, I built the one deck, and then I built another one. Then I improved the one deck I already had for commander. Met up with my old Magic buddy to play around. On Monday, I went to my favorite bar, which is also a nice story. I came back around like, I think 1 a.m. I thought like, oh, maybe I still feel fit. Maybe I can fiddle around with the cards a bit more because I think I can improve some things. And my brother isn't home yet. He's on another party. And I come back and I already hear like the voices from the cellar, the party cellar. So I think, oh, okay, they're gonna party there. I can drink another beer or two. Let's go down there. And I go down there and they just sit there with their Magic cards. Everyone like half wasted. And yeah, and they're looking at me and they want to join. I was like, yes, I want to join. And yeah, went up, got my cards, and then we played till 4 or 3 a.m. Yeah, now I'm addicted to Magic again. I've like searching cards and thinking about Magic cards all the time. I've built 3 decks. I have 3 more in the making. I think the building of decks is what's most fun for me. And yeah, it was annoying with the commander because yeah, I couldn't use the 4 of a type that I already have of the good cards. I had to find like replacement cards, and also you play with really big cards that cost a lot of mana that you can only play in the late game. You have double the life in Commander, so the game takes a lot more time. You got a lot more mana, so also this changes. And I could take these cards that I didn't have in my collection from my brother, who was really generous about that. Yeah, I told him he can take all my cards integrated in his collection because it just makes more sense. Yeah, Magic.
But can you use his cards when you're there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, most of them. A couple he wants to have for himself.
Okay.
Oh, and yeah, looked up a couple of card prices. The one that hurt was the one I gave away, but some of the cards I kept because I knew like these are good, like weird combo cards that you can't play in regular decks. They are all played in commander decks now, and they're worth like, back in the day was like maybe €2. Now they're like 20 euros. And because I have like the old versions of these, this goes up like to 40, 60 euros per card. Yeah, I think the like, I know a couple of people who invest in Magic cards and who did this before the commander thing became really worth it, and they like doubled and tripled their money easily. Yeah, and some of my cards did the same thing. They are now like expensive cards that, yeah, even my brother is happy to have. It's really nice. It's a nice hobby. Gotta find some Magic players here. I brought the 3 decks. I brought some replacement cards because I just love tweaking the deck so much. And yeah, hopefully I'm gonna play some Magic here, and then end of the year I'm gonna go back down to Konstanz to finish the other decks. To play some more Magic. It's gonna be, yeah. I thought I'd work this last week, but yeah, no chance. Too much Magic. I was really, every waking moment that I didn't have to do anything else or met with anybody else, I was sitting in my brother's room above like a huge pool of cards like this, but then I can play this and this should be in there, and then taking his folder and going through, oh, this looks good. Crazy time. I wasn't like so into Magic, I don't know, probably like 20 years or 15, 20 years it's been. Yeah.
Well, I guess this is how you feel most of the time, because I didn't understand the word these last 15 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
I have no idea about Magic. I know it exists. I know Vinky was really into it, but that's about the contact that I had with it. Like,
I'm not sure how into it he was, but he was talking about it, yeah. I remember that he played against my ex-girlfriend and lost. And he got very upset, and they played again, and he lost again, and he got even more upset, and then they played a third time, and then they never played again. Because she won the third time as well. She had no chance with his super cool deck, and she just beat his ass with her. There are wolves in there, and dogs, and it's a really nice deck with green creatures. Yeah. It was a strong deck. I built it, but it was just like I had the limitation of only picking cards that also look good. Yeah,
I see.
Self-imposed restriction, or
yeah. Imposed by my ex-girlfriend. I didn't want to play like all the ugly cards. Yeah,
sure.
Which I get totally. I do the same thing. Like I don't like to play. I think just what I find ugly is a bit different than what she finds ugly. I like the creepy cards, especially as well.
Well, aesthetically, she thinks all green fairy and dogs and all nice
animals and stuff. But I love that too, and the elves. That's why my favorites is the elf cards as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I could go on, but maybe we should talk about something else. Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Where do I begin with this
something.
man? Oh,
We can begin with your weeks. What has been up with you? What do you want to share?
Yeah, that's what I thought he was talking about, but then his week seemed like
It was an intense week.
That's what I wanted to share. Most of all. At least.
Where do I start? Like, oh my gosh. I got back to work a little bit. Just got this idea festering, and it still looks like nothing for now. And in my head, it's worked out. So it's just the physical part of things.
That's how I think about Magic decks.
And of course, we got to meet your parents.
Right. That happened.
And earlier on, I was telling him about how I like the mom's lisp.
She has a lisp?
And so it turns out that it came after the operation, so it's not necessarily. It's a tiny little lisp.
Yeah, because half her face is still a bit numb and hanging down a bit.
And this one suddenly directly goes to, oh, is that your fetish about
disabilities?
Disabilities. And I was like, okay, yeah. But it was nice meeting them. And they were equally very friendly. It felt like, as I said, like a marriage of the two of you. Parents meeting each other's parents.
Right, our parents were meeting for the first time.
Yeah. According to his dad, it was a year's manifestation. I don't know how that came about.
Well, they did try to meet before, but then the whole thing with my mom's brain, with the tumor, came in between. And her heart, of course. All that health stuff.
Yeah, she's very... I don't know who you look like. I can't tell. Maybe it's the beard hiding a whole lot of other features. But they're very...
Too many features.
You don't have too many features?
No.
Wow. Yeah, okay. Talk about that not being true. And I got to spend a lot of time with this man when you guys were not there. Which of course is like, drag for me. Because I just like, take over all your time. And then we watched a whole lot of Taskmaster. Yeah, I call it Taskmaster. It's a little bit of a weird tongue twister for me. If I say it fast. So Taskmaster. I've seen it before in my country, but never paid attention. And we kind of started on season 2 and went to season 3 now. No, I mean, went to season 1. Now we're in season 3, which is the least of my favorites so far. But 2 was
pretty good.
Was cool, and 1
fun.
was also cool. I was laughing all the time, which is kind of what I needed because my week has been filled with finding out someone I know has passed away from blood clot, and finding out that someone we both know also was on the verge of tried to commit suicide, and then ended up being on the deathbed for meningitis also. So it's like double whammy type of a situation. You kind of recover from there, you don't die, and then which I'm starting to actually wonder if that meningitis wasn't a trigger to actually commit suicide because it attacks your brain, but whatever.
I also obviously thought of that, but I don't think it's
very related.
Nothing I can find says that it makes you depressed.
Yeah.
And there's enough reason to be depressed. So but they're okay. So that's at least nice.
So that's...
So far, so good.
Just like that just wasn't the fun part. But the rest of the week has just been talking to family and friends, and everything is fine. They're okay. No one is in a hectic stage. So that's nice. TV wise, I don't know. Like, I'm watching something called Daddy John, which I love. But this is the second version, Daddy John.
Dirty, not daddy.
Dirty John.
Dirty John.
Yeah, Dirty John. But this is Dirty Betty. So it's under the series of John. I also find that it takes a toll on me because it's just people doing bad things to people.
It's hard to watch for me as well.
Yeah.
I feel like in my earlier days it was easier.
Yeah.
But now I don't.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a series, like I can watch a movie easier because I know it's like I'm gonna watch this. But if it's serious, like continuing to watch, like in Working Moms, for example, I feel like it's becoming more and more drama and uncomfortable, and the jokes, I don't know, maybe they don't land as much or there are less of them. But it's I don't know if I'm gonna finish that.
Well, I also watched the weirdest thing about me is that I never check out how many how many episodes are in a series, right?
Yeah.
That is far from the weirdest thing about you.
So I get shocked when things just end in the middle of like.
Yeah.
I was watching Downton Abbey and I was really now getting into it, and suddenly I'm on the second last pin-up ultimate.
Yeah, weirdly, after 100 hours of television, it ends. How did that happen? I don't know.
We got kind of the opposite happen to me. Not quite, but so I was trying to finish the anime Attack on Titan. So there's Attack on Titan season 1, season 2, I think season 3, and I went through all of them, and it's getting weirder and weirder, like confusing. It's not, it's like, there's a lot of talk about like, is this promoting fascism or not? Is it like fascistic in its promoting militarism or whatever? It's hard to say. So, but then they had Attack on Titan final season. Weirdly enough, that they wouldn't call it just season 4, but final season. So I thought, like, okay, let's see what they are talking about.
And then there's final point 2, final point 2.2, final point 2.2, final 2.
Yes. how you would like name your project files?
Yeah, exactly.
There is Attack on Titan final season 2.
Sure.
Wow.
And who knows if it's gonna end there? And I was like at the end of the final season, expecting it to end, and it ends in a cliffhanger, and it's just like, what? And final season 2 isn't out there. Isn't out yet.
Okay.
So I'm like,
You're waiting.
yeah.
And this one, then, as I'm watching a pin ultimate, he says to me, "You do know that the season is ending on the next one," and I'm like, "What the?"
It was even called the finale. And how do I know this and you don't know this? I wasn't even watching
I don't
it.
watch those things. I just wanted to carry on until I'm tired of it. So I also then tried to get into. So the point is, I also tried to get into something called the Duchess.
Catherine Ryan.
It's like Final Fantasy. It doesn't have 50 installments now or more. That's true.
And for some odd reason, the Duchess has only got 6 episodes. And I kind of presume it's probably have to do with COVID and stuff like that.
That's just a mini-series.
Mini-series of nothing, of like,
I like miniseries.
Also, it's British. The British always have
always
like super
do
short
like
seasons.
short seasons.
And
I know.
it just came out. So I'm sure there's going to be more seasons, but you're going to have to wait.
Yeah, I know. That hurt. That hurt. Like I'm still getting on, and they leave it as such an awkward situation. I understand it, but then why? And I'm also trying to get into this character that's Catherine's character, and I'm just like, what the hell is she all about? Her comedy and stuff. And
That's why we were watching Taskmaster season 2, because Catherine Ryan is...
nice.
yeah.
That's confusing then, right? See her behind without the character.
And she won Taskmaster.
It's the exact same thing, somehow.
Oh.
It's just about her and her life.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like the
nothing has
dramatization
changed.
of her stand-up, basically.
Ah, okay.
She also has a daughter, and her actual daughter. And
So it's not like medieval, like the Dutch. It's not like the Crown.
No.
It's today.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see. I was expecting something like the Crown.
Well, it's not too. What's the word again? What do you say when you're killing a? You don't want to reveal much. Spoiler. I don't want to spoil whatever it is that makes it the Duchess. Yeah. So there is an understanding why, and yeah.
I see.
It's just so sad. Now I'm looking for something very, very light to watch. That's why the Taskmaster.
It's perfect for that.
Yeah, except I can't look down. I can't do anything else. I have to keep on watching.
And yet you do.
I do watch and stop working.
What? No, I mean you stare at your phone the entire time. Like, what are you?
What? No.
Oh, I can't look away.
No, I can't look away.
Oh, is that what you're doing? Yeah?
It's like one eye for the phone, one eye
Yeah.
for
And then half the time it's like, what? And then I always re-explain the task they're doing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't watch it with me.
Probably shouldn't, but
Yeah.
what else am I gonna do?
No, what he does is, how was your week? What have you been doing this week? Delivering stuff?
That is what I say to you guys, so you get talking before I get to my hour-long monologue.
No, go for it. How was it? My week was great-ish. Well, I got to meet your granny again, whom I really have a nice connection with. Yeah.
You just looked like you were like, that's not my granny.
You owe me.
I was like, I got to meet your granny, like for the third time or something. And
No, but this time it's kind of like, I don't know.
that's why I was confused for a second.
Actually,
You got to meet my
it was the
granny.
first time we actually touched.
Oh.
So, yeah, I know. Like, I'll get a crush on her already. But, yeah, no. With our difficulty in language. Right? Yeah, difficulty in language, we're getting closer, and touching is much better because there's a physical connection without the COVID and worrying people are vaccinated. Yeah, so I'm semi-vaccinated. So, yeah.
Nature's vaccine.
And I got bitten by, oh man.
I was wondering if you can vaccinate here in Germany.
I wonder if it's not reserved for your people.
Yeah, I don't know.
I also don't know how that works, but also apparently after recovery, so you're supposed to wait half a year.
Half a year?
But is that written? Is that a rule? Do I have to tell
Well,
them?
I read it, so I guess it was written.
You know what I mean? Do I have to tell them?
I'm sure there's a reason why they say that, so I guess you don't have to, but I don't know if it kills you if you
I
do.
want Moderna. I want Moderna.
We don't have that. Do we have that?
I've done it.
Yeah. I only saw biotech and AstraZeneca.
I'm terrified of
Isn't it-
AstraZeneca.
And the Johnson Johnson, but I have not seen Moderna.
Isn't it BioNTech Moderna?
No.
No,
Isn't
because
Moderna the Dolly Parton
Dolly
one?
Parton one. 'Cause
I don't
the
think we
Dolly
have that.
Parton one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dolly
I want the
Parton
Dolly Parton one. I really want the Dolly Parton one. I want to be injected with some country.
Maybe some rock and roll.
Some rock and roll.
Just take a dirty needle.
Please don't make me laugh too much. I think I want to fart, so I need to sit up properly.
Oh, that's all right.
No, we don't want to see people getting up off their seats.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're not. No, okay.
I'm gonna run for sure.
Yeah, no, you're more prone to understanding nature's
You
nature.
just don't know yet.
Okay. No, I don't shame people for their natural
bodily
body
functions.
Yeah.
I don't either until men inflict it on me.
But we're married. We're supposed to take everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, tell me, how was your week?
Well, I had an interesting week or two.
Yeah.
Where to even start?
You see.
So, well,
Monday, 2 a.m.
dun dun.
No, please don't make me think of Law and Order.
So, I don't know what prompted that. I guess we watched something that was not good. And I was like, I gotta work on this writing thing that I actually want to do so that I get to be in a position to fix all these shitty scripts.
Was the Kominsky?
No, that pissed me off later.
Huh.
But yeah, nah. Have you ever watched the Kominsky Method?
That's on my list. I got it recommended.
It's okay. I feel like you would enjoy it. We haven't watched it to the end yet. It's just the first few episodes. And it's fine. It's just also by Chuck Lorre, who did 2.5 Men and Moms and all that crap. Big Bang Theory.
It's such a weird sort of like mediocrity that he produces. Like it's funny, but it's this status quo funny kind of thing.
It's kind of good up until a point. And that's kind of a weird barrier. That was where I had sort of at the 4th episode or something, I had sort of this feeling of I don't know if I want to watch this any further. Not that it got worse and it was kind of fun, but it really feels like the limited perspective of privilege that sort of understands something, but also not all of it. And then you feel like there's like a sort of hollow aftertaste. It's weird.
I thought like microwave lasagna.
Yeah,
Kind of. It's nice, but if you get sick after a while, you just can do that.
It's sort of like that, but like the gourmet microwave lasagna. So like it's better than the other crap he does, but there's also something that just you taste the chemicals.
The expensive shit.
What else did we watch that had a? It was good, but it had a molester or some funny name guy.
Oh wait, what was it? What have we been watching? We've been watching sort of everything.
What was that?
Someone. Yeah, what I even told you in the Hootout. Do you mean that one? Where I was like, oh yeah, that guy, by the way. Oh, Dirk Gently.
Oh, Dirk Gently.
Because
that left us.
Max Landis is a rapist, allegedly.
Okay.
So, just want to yell that into the microphone.
Watch out for the next album about molesters.
Yes.
I'm going to release that. Yes.
Oh, yes. No, that was just something that triggered me into thinking, you know what, I'm not actually working on the thing that I want to be working on. And I was like, you know what, maybe I should write more. And that was a month ago. Like, and so I was like, okay, let's just do something. Let's just practice. Write something that I want to write, that I've been wanting to write. And I have had this kind of like small town murder mystery floating around my head. I always wanted to do something where, I don't know, I like these kind of quiet, depressing dramas that, would usually be filmed in kind of a grayish blue of like a child being abducted and the town kind of going wild over it and stuff. And so I wanted to do something like that. And so I've been like kind of concepting for a while, and just kind of writing. And then like the other day, you weren't here. Yeah, you were going on a walk with my parents. And I accidentally stumbled across a YouTube recommendation of one of those videos that I usually never click on. Just like from a channel called Film Courage. And the thumbnail says, if you can't answer these 6 questions, your story has a problem. And I was like, okay, but I'm also interested. So sometimes with these clickbaity things, like I don't like Looper and whatever kind of stuff, what YouTube recommends you, these kind of weird aggregate BuzzFeed style content machines.
I feel like the quality of these videos have become like lower and lower. I used to love that shit, watched everything I could, and now it's just like, why this and this film is so great, and they're just like telling you like some beats of the story, and you're like, yeah, I watched that too. What's your point?
Oh, my biggest pet peeve is always when you find like articles, this and this ending explained, and then you just kind of read the article and it does not explain anything, it just recounts the plot, and it's like, what does it mean? Who knows? I was so mad. We watched Suspiria, right? Yeah. With the dancing and stuff, and I wanted to know what the ending, like the last scene and the last shot mean. And it like literally was like, the ending explained. And then it just said, we don't know either. Make up your own mind. But yeah, but sometimes I see these screenwriting things, especially if there's like, here's 6 rules, I feel like that's probably going to be stupid, but sometimes there's something in there that kind of sparks like a little something, right? And then I open an incognito browser so it doesn't mess up my YouTube recommendation. And I watched it and it was great. Like, so great. And I was like, actually, like in the middle of the video, I was like, you know what? I'm switching to my regular browser. And I'm going to keep watching the other videos of the same. There was a guy being interviewed, a screenwriter. And he was like actually saying those things that I want to hear, you know, those, how you actually write. And, you know, even when sometimes, you know, I get like a touch nervous. Wait, are you trying to tell me? Oh, no. Okay, yes, I'm on board.
Hence the bald guy that I found you watching.
Yeah, that guy. That's the one. You know, when he starts to get into an act structure, but then like that acts are stupid. You know, like 3-act structure is dumb because yes, of course, a story has a beginning, middle, and end. That doesn't help you at all. And like it was so good. And then he was in one video then also talking about how anxiety kind of like wrecks. Like they have these clickbaity titles, but it's so like the content was so good.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like the clickbaity titles for that kind of content is mandatory now because you can't survive on YouTube without them.
Yeah.
So you got to weed them out by feel somehow.
Definitely.
But then doesn't that also somewhat create I'm not gonna click on them?
No, 100%. When I see shit like that, that's why I don't want to name our game some shitty SEO title because I would so pass that over just for having that title. Yeah. Because it can't be good.
Why can't you create 2 entries with the 2 different things and seeing whether that can work or not?
Why can't we actually?
It's A/B testing. It's possible, but it's like effort, and that's not our style. I don't know.
Just as an exercise.
Could like just release it twice.
Yeah, it's an exercise.
I don't know.
Anyway,
but so the thing is, so I watched a thing when he talks about, you know, the anxiety of being a writer and how it like how he spent like his youth. He wanted to be a writer, but he always like had an excuse of why he wasn't doing it. Like he was studying, so he didn't have time to write, and then he quit his college and. Then he was still not writing because it was never really about that and stuff. And so, and that then linked to a different video from the same channel that was talking about 3 proven ways to beat procrastination. And so I think the same thing, right? It's like a clickbaity title, and like, but then I watched this and it's actually so good. And these are actually like really interesting techniques, and I feel like we should just watch that because it's good. And just 15 minutes of goodness. But the first thing that he
posted on our Discord.
Yes. Then one of the things that he talked about there was that one technique you can do is to sort of write out your worst fear. So to really think about, like he was talking about when he was hired to write a screenplay, and he felt afraid of doing it because he was worried it would like wreck his career and that he was gonna that it's gonna be so bad that he's gonna be fired, his agent is gonna drop him, his girlfriend and his friends are gonna abandon him because he's so terrible, and that he would just then to just write all that out. You kind of also, you know, to let yourself write out also the irrational fears of, because of course the friends and stuff are not gonna abandon you if you don't. Like, as if they give a shit, right? Yeah. But of course the other stuff could happen, right? That your agent drops you if your work is shit and stuff. But to like really write out the situation, to put yourself into your worst fear, to really experience it, to really feel terrible. So that basically the worst thing has already happened to you. And then to write out, so what would he have done next? Would he have stopped writing? Probably not. He would probably have tried to write another screenplay, find a new agent, to kind of take away the power of the fear and
the unknown outcome.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, no, immediately. And I paused the video and done that, and I was like, yes, this is a great idea. I love writing out my thoughts because that's how I sort of sometimes process things. There are a bunch of documents where it's just pages and pages of me rambling about stuff. And that was interesting because, of course, you know, when I think about it, you know, I don't have a career to wreck. I'm not really afraid that you guys are gonna stop liking me if I write something terrible. I don't even feel that bad about the old stuff that I did. I actually really like it a lot. Of course, I see all the flaws and stuff, but I don't even judge them very much because I'm somehow like understanding of my past self. I judge me now a lot, but the past self not so much, because I'm kind of like, this is actually good, and even in the crappiness there's a lot of good stuff. And so what I kind of then realized is that I am afraid of judging myself, of giving bully brain ammunition to hurt me. That if I write something terrible, then bully brain is gonna have something to abuse me with. But the problem is, I'm already doing it. I'm already judging myself. I'm already treating myself as if I'm so shit that I shouldn't even try, because bully brain is gonna hurt me, and therefore bully brain is already hurting me. By the way, I don't know if I talked about this but bully brain is sort of the term that I landed on for the self-critical, self-negative, self-abusive part of my brain. And then sort of sussing that out, like what that really means and what I actually am doing to myself by sort of buying into a premise, basically. Like I still believe the premise of I'm not good enough. And what I do to fix it, because I am taking a lot of action in many ways, but I'm also realizing through that how those actions are corrupted actually by bully brain. Because what I do is like I read a lot, I learn a lot, I study writing, right? And I love that. I love watching analysis. I love reading about the craft. I love reading books about screenwriting. And I do this so much. And that's a complicated thing, because it's not bad to do this, to study the stuff that you do, right? I learn a lot, and I actually am getting better at it. And in a way, I'm arming myself against the attacks of bully brain. When bully brain says, that's shit, I can say, nope, this is how it works. This is how I have learned. These are the mechanisms.
Yeah, you're securing yourself, basically. Yeah.
Yes. But at the same time, that's all I'm doing.
Yeah, I know that. I'm very much about that with game design as well.
So yeah, I am arming myself against bully brain, but I'm also only arming myself, which buys into the assumption that I'm not good enough to try yet. So I'm always not good enough to actually do it.
You're always in the preparation phase.
Yeah. So I'm never a writer. I'm always a researcher. And therefore I'm not doing what I want to do.
Aspiring writer.
I mean, the healthy way probably would be to write and on the side learn more.
Right? You need practice, right?
Yes, because how am I ever gonna actually learn how to do it? Not just to know it, but to do it. And I know this, right? I know that it takes practice and that it's hard. Because if you don't train a muscle, of course, it's going to be hard to use, but also that it gets better when you do it. But I'm not doing it because I'm buying into the bully brain premise that I need this. Not just that I can use it as a tool, but that I need it because I'm not good enough. And so what I kind of decided to do is two things. For one, I'm going to go back to therapy, because I do think I need help figuring this out. And especially like these Trojan horse attacks that bully brain does, that it uses, healthy language and all this stuff to keep me doing exactly nothing. I do think I need just someone to like keep track of this with me, because as much as I at times can therapize myself, clearly I'm very susceptible to these attacks. And the second thing that I decided then, what am I gonna do? What's my action plan? Was because the other thing that I do, the other reason why I stop writing a lot, is that I get into these modes of I have to produce this and as much every day. And if I don't do it, then I get frustrated and then I want to quit because I can't reach the quota that I have arbitrarily set. Because if I don't perform like a streak or like something that seems like I'm being professional, which I also can use to keep... I like streaks because I can use that against bully brain. If I write 1,000 words every day, well, then I am doing exactly what I need to do. Then bully brain can't say anything. I am performing this. But when my energy levels don't work that way. I'm not the same level of productiveness every day. It fluctuates, but I don't let myself fluctuate.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I have to keep this rigid thing, because otherwise Broly Brain is going to tell me that I'm not doing it right, and I'm going to believe it.
I've heard methods of going around that, because the streaking method is often like a suggestion for people how do I get organized and stuff.
Yeah.
It's often, or work out and all that. And one of the methods, I am not really, I'm giving myself like a broader spectrum. Like I don't have to do anything every day. So it's a couple per week, and that's fine. Other people say, if you work like 1,000 days every day, and then you do you're one out, that shouldn't like diminish the 1,000 you did. That's like bullshit.
Right?
So you should give yourself like every couple, like one pause you can use. That's like another method basically.
And the thing I want to get to is that I can like listen to my needs while also not letting that listening to my needs become the crutch with which I don't do anything.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
And so what I've now decided to do is when I think of writing, I just do it. Even if it's just, I tell myself, even if it's just a couple of minutes, I don't think of reasons why I shouldn't. And I catch myself so often. Like in the morning, I wake up usually 2 hours before, right? And then I try to be quiet and everything. And so like, after I had decided this, I woke up and I was like, now I'm thinking about writing. Okay, but she's sleeping. I'm going to do it later. And then I was like, wait, that is exactly the thing that sounds reasonable, not to bother her with the clickety-clickety-clack, but it's only a reason not to write because I'm afraid.
I have that work out. Like, I have like reminders, like today is a day for workout. I don't have to do it every day. Once a week is fine for me now. But it's always like, it's kind of early. It's kind of late.
Yeah, right.
I feel a bit tired today.
You always find good reasons, and they make sense.
I should probably rest a bit more, healthier. But the days I just force myself anyway, where I'm just like, I don't have anything better to do. Yes, I'm a bit tired, but I can't just stop when I'm tired. I don't have to finish it if I'm too tired. So I'm just gonna start, and then it works out in the end every time. Like, except a few times, and then it's kind of fine. Just like, today is not the day. It's okay. I tried. Should be enough.
And actually, I have to remind myself in both directions. Yes, I have to tell, okay, wait, no, I'm making excuses for not writing. But then also when I'm then like, okay, I've written. Now I just want to relax and play a game. Then during the game, I think of writing. And I'm like, is this now where I should force myself to write? And then I have to also be like, no. You are relaxing right now, and you don't have to like fill every single moment of the day. It's such a weird, because there's no like clear system that I can follow. It's just kind of going with the volatile nature of my energy levels,
and I just break all the barriers, because I am just like, Bully Brain right now is saying I'm mediocre, and I'm working on stuff, but I feel like I'm a failed cause
in my eyes.
No, I just there's a whole lot of other things that I just kind of just, I don't have a routine. It's hard to start one because I don't know how to keep one. I've never had one. So, and I make excuses and I procrastinate, and that also comes from the art industry, where if you're in your studio, then you just be in your studio and you don't have to do anything right now. There's no one asking for something. There's no one commissioning anything. It's a thought process, and it's there, and blah blah blah, all of those things. It's just
That's also this weird I also feel mediocre. I can't write as well as I want to.
No, but mediocre in my patterns.
Even that.
Yeah.
Even whatever you feel mediocre about, it's probably true to some degree, because you're not actually practicing getting better.
Yeah.
And you can't get better unless you practice. And this thing of not doing it because you're not great at it is not going to get you to be great suddenly. You actually have to do it to train that muscle, and to actually... And when you do it, it's not... I totully believe that it is not that hard to like learn it, right? You can retrain yourself to, you just have to not let bully brain convince you not to try. And that's somehow so difficult.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is probably this, that your taste evolves faster than your skill. That you're always like looking
really
down
hurt me.
on whatever you do, because your taste is always a bit farther than you are actual skill.
Yeah. But how are you gonna catch up if you don't practice? That's like the one thing where it just stops making sense. You have to be crap for a little while and just be comfortable with it and practice so you can get good.
Although I want to do a little caveat, because like looking back, I have a feeling that maybe it's not really your taste that's evolving faster, but you're also like being hard on yourself, and like, because with a little bit of distance to your own work, like looking back, stuff usually looks, sounds, plays better than I found it to be at the time I was like finished and looking back, like finished and looking at it, and I was like, oh, it's not good. Take a year, play it again, I'm like, oh wow, like that's kind of cool.
I think it's because your taste evolving means you have a more clear idea of what works, what doesn't, what the rules are, how the craft works basically, and so you have more ammunition to judge yourself by. And if you like take a little bit of distance, because it's always you judge yourself in the present, right? If you look back, then you think like, yeah, of course I wasn't as good then. Yeah. That's all fine, but this is really cool, right? For what my skill level was at the time. But of course now I need to be perfect. Now I can't give myself the same.
Is that why, if I'm correct into thinking that I have difficulties, I will think of something, I will do it in my brain, but I will not physically do it, because if I physically do it, I have to start from scratch. I have to figure out how.
And you can fail.
Yeah, you have to expose yourself to the judgment.
Yeah, and the taste, because the taste is so advanced that in my head also, I hurry these things and not have the patience to actually pass through this to match up my brain with my whatever I think is the taste of things and what I think is best by seeing other I don't know.
I also think that the skill of analysis or like of just experiencing art is a very different one from creating art, and it gets kind of like muddled up of I'm getting better and better at like analyzing stuff, but that doesn't mean that I actually know how to actually do it.
Okay.
I know how to criticize something, but to criticize something is very different from creating something. So you have to sort of also practice the creation that you then can criticize. It's like it's a very messy.
Yeah, with the thinking, like I do that in a lot of areas of my life where I love thinking stuff out, like thinking through stuff. How would I do that, this and that? But then when it comes to doing, I'm completely overwhelmed because I know there's so much to do. And then it's so far from me being able to look back at all that work that I get like discouraged starting. Or I start and then I'm like, it's so exhausting, and then I don't do it. Even when it's just building decks for Magic together. I mean Highlander, because it's 100 cards. It's what
It's something that I try to remind myself of a lot, is that every action I take is practice. So every time I think of something but don't do, I practice thinking and not doing. And that of course the doing is hard if all I ever do is practice not doing. And that every time that basically bully brain wins by saying, oh no, you need to learn more before you even try, I practice thinking I'm not good enough and I need to learn more, which is sort of why, I do endless research and never act, because there's actually nothing else that I practice. It's not like a bar you have to fill up and then you're, can move on to the next thing. You just practice this one thing forever. And it's gonna stay that forever if you never practice this and it's fucking hard in the beginning, But I also, this last week I have been doing this. When I think of writing and I'm not actually like relaxing right now, which is a deliberate choice then. And I have been writing, and it's really, I've written stuff that I'm so, like in the last week, I've written something that I think is fucking incredible. And even though today when I was looking over it and actually it doesn't work, I'm gonna rewrite it. But even the couple of thoughts that I had to fix it, like they make it even better, and it's just good. And just that doing it is already so like, yes, this works. I don't fully believe it yet, but I believe that if I keep practicing, I will at some point. And I so want to get to this point, because that's what the procrastination guy talks about. That he used to procrastinate a lot, and like it would be a terrible time. You're I think we all know that you're exhausted from not doing something.
And stressed out.
Completely.
At the same time.
And the way he talks about it, that through this practicing, that after some time, he doesn't have that at all anymore. And he just does things now. I so want to get to that point.
Yeah, I sometimes have that. Like, in a flow, like, I think like it wasn't work, like, of course, but like the last 2 weeks, usually I need a lot of just time for myself and not doing much. Like every second day I don't have to see people. And then I had like to organize the job center stuff and the contract work and my parents and meeting people and all that. But I just did it like every day, something else. And I'm kind of in the flow now. I desperately need a day for myself still, but because you're like, it's like cumulative. Like every time you do it, you feel great about doing it. So the next time it's kind of easier, and then you can build up like that. And if you just don't do it, you can't build anything. You stay at the same point, and it's always going to be the same effort to try and start, and it's always going to be too much effort to actually do.
Yeah, I think this flow thing also really fucked me. Because, I mean, of course I do things, right, occasionally. And I kind of got into this mindset of I need to be in the flow or in the, in a position to start the flow, otherwise I can't do it. Yeah. And so I only do it like once a year in like very specific moments, and it lasts for a couple of days. And then I'm like, I need to wait until my flow comes back. Yeah. Because I only practice. And I think it's, you sent me this video,
the waves
thing,
the French Buddhist guy.
Yes, that.
The TED Talk.
And I think, when I'm at the peak, then sure, then I'm at flow. When I feel great about myself and I question myself, then it's all good. It's this thing of when I don't, to still practice doing that, to sort of raise that water level so that it doesn't, scratch the bottom when it goes down, that you can still do it. Yeah. But that's the one thing I never practice. I practice not doing it when I'm not at my, peak energy. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't help. Especially, if I'm honest with myself, I don't think of myself as a writer. It's what I desperately want to do, but I don't admit it really to myself. I kind of see this as a thing that just happens accidentally on the side, and that I don't really feel like I can do.
You're just a writer if you have like a famous book or movie out. And even then the people there, they feel like they are like imposters, right?
Oh,
it's a weird thing. You never feel like you're a writer.
Pulitzers and stuff.
Yeah, game designer or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm not in a constant flow state, then I'm clearly not.
Yeah, artist.
It's like if I'm not in a constant flow state, then I'm clearly not a writer. So therefore, I'm just a guy who sometimes writes.
It's also in I think the book is called Motivation Myth, maybe. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing that you got to be motivated to do stuff, but you can't just wait until you're motivated to do stuff. That motivation comes from doing stuff. You do stuff, you see that you're good at it, you know, and then you get motivated. And the more you practice that, the more this keeps happening. Instead of just waiting and saying, I'm not motivated today, and tomorrow you're not going to be more motivated to do it. Most likely. But it's a kind of it's a weird, you can't go to either extreme. You gotta wiggle around. You gotta listen to yourself. You gotta give yourself rest if you need rest, and don't beat yourself up for it. But you should also like push yourself at points to do it, because that will help you get going.
There was also something that I read the other week, a type of therapy I had never heard about called ACT, the acceptance and commitment therapy. And the little bit that I read about it was basically to learn to acknowledge, okay, I have this feeling, I can't do this, I'm not motivated, but that feeling doesn't actually control whether you can. It's just a feeling. It doesn't actually prevent you from doing it anyway. Yeah, today I don't feel like I can write. What is actually physically stopping me from sitting down and doing it anyway? Nothing. It's really just a thing that convinces me I shouldn't try. And that's also an interesting thought. Feelings don't have to control you. You can acknowledge them and say, okay, there you are, feeling. Nice of you to chime in. I'm going to do it anyway.
Make yourself comfortable, because I'm going to work.
That sounds actually really good. So that's been sort of that journey, and I'm actually really but also very reassured, because I can apply a lot of the things, and I kind of am starting to see how they work. To construct stories actually very mechanically, which I actually really like. I like having systems and things to do things with, because I think of my intuitive approach to writing. I always feel a lot like I have to feel a certain way it works. But if you think about it in terms of there's a character who has a problem that they need to solve, and every single beat is an action that works towards that goal but is conflicted or helped by various things, then you're really just constructing a logical sequence. And that works for me again. And that actually works, when I was writing it as sort of that sequence and trying to put all the actions into kind of a context of, how can I bring this out the best way and stuff. And it's really a lot, I feel like, how I work in game development, because I feel like through the mechanical nature of how you construct games, I do this a lot already. I try to find mechanics that best bring out what I'm trying to say in that moment and stuff. And writing a story is very much the same way. And I don't know, it's an exciting time.
Yes.
I am curious to see where it goes.
Hello. We okay?
Hello.
Hey, well,
Writing stream.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm really excited about this. I mean, I'm just writing this for myself. This is never gonna go anywhere. I'm basically writing like a mini series. Like I'm thinking like 6 episodes of some kind of murder mystery, and I don't know. It deals with stuff that I care about, and with sort of character. It's a lot, of course, taken from my life and things. And there's a lot of stuff that makes me very sad about it. Especially as I figure out abusive parents and stuff, and trying to find the motivation and like the positive things that every character does, because every character has an internal logic, what they're trying to achieve, and how they feel other characters are hindering them or helping them. Because that's really the only thing. You only meet characters that either help or hinder. That's also such a good thing to know, which was also in the Some Courage videos.
Not if I have anything to do with it.
Helping or hindering?
No, I will help by leaking to an agent of some sort, or producer.
The same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell him, but that could still lead to something.
Yeah.
Just write it for yourself.
Yeah, he's not expecting anything. Yeah, so.
After your death, like Kafka, I'm gonna sell all your work.
I think it's like a good idea to just get into the practice of writing, and I don't think like the first idea you write is going to be the one you produce. You write 100 screenplays, and then there's one that is actually like kind of good, right? But to get to the 100, you have to do it. You can't just wait until you're in the place
just
without
thinking
practicing.
About the 99 before and the
100th.
Like,
what can I do to skip? But it's like not how it works, is it?
No, unfortunately not.
What is rock, paper, scissors meaning?
Brodeferi. Play a kind of kiss or slap game. Yes, riddles are good. Why, thank you very much. It is actually going very well. I'm just learning to get over all the mental blocks that I...
Procrastination.
Yes, that is why, you know.
Creativity blockage.
All that nonsense that keeps me from actually doing it and just thinking about all the things that I might want to do one day. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I also think it's just a good idea to just go back to therapy and have a little bit. Because I would really love some help in getting rid of that bully brain. Because then it seems like that life would just be nice.
If you find the right person, the right therapist for that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like my therapy, I'm feeling like it's reached its limit.
Oh, really?
But maybe it will.
Thank you.
Next time it will change. But yeah. Bye bye. It's I feel like you need to find someone who doesn't search for a different problem, like who sees that you are already on the right track and helps you with your work. Because with my therapist, I'm kind of feeling that she's kind of on another level sometimes. Like she's looking for other stuff that I'm telling her.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it goes. I mean,
but also, there's
just a bit
clearly something
right
is wrong in here, right? So if the therapist tells you, well, maybe you're looking in the wrong place, then that might be true in some capacity, right? Because otherwise, if we already knew the answer,
I'm sure it might just be some person,
No, but actually,
doing their best of.
I wrote her to ask for a recommendation if she knows anyone. And interestingly, she recommended that I look for a male therapist, and I thought that was kind of an interesting. Why would I haven't asked yet? I want to ask, why would the gender matter?
I was told that as well by someone else. And I also thought it's weird, but okay. I mean, it's of course, the male experience is different, and if you've got someone who experienced the same things, maybe they can.
That's kind of also what I'm worried about. That the male perspective is just as limited as mine, and so I would rather have someone who at least a little bit understands.
Just because you're the same gender doesn't necessarily mean you'll be understood by that person.
Yeah, doesn't.
I think the best thing is probably she has you for screening to then refer you to the right person.
Oh no, that's my therapist.
No, I understand. She may understand. She may have understood you from the past, but what you're asking now is totally different. And to have you for a screening that she can then refer you and know what the problem is, not necessarily, hey, bro, you have a problem with the bro, everything. It's if I have a problem and do I see same gynecologist?
We gained a new follower. Well, if you're still here, very, very much thank you for following.
Thanks. Just too much to go for that, whatever the thing was.
Yeah, 2 more and we get to maybe if we stream more, we get to be affiliates or something. Oh no, we need to get more people talking at the same time in our
I'm sure we can manage
well.
that somehow.
That's nice.
As I was saying, great. I was gonna have an analogy about gynecologist. Me being a female doesn't mean that I have to go and see a female gynecologist just to.
But
they would understand.
In that case, I can even more understand how that might be beneficial for some.
I feel in both cases women are better.
Okay, okay, fine, but still.
It's definitely worth a thought, but I also am afraid that this might be a bit reductive, but I'm sure that she didn't mean it like that.
No, I also think the guys don't. I have less, obviously, but I just think I don't know why I feel because my therapist is failing me. That I feel as if at this point in time you could be teaching your therapist more than what they they know themselves and going through. Like
That's
I feel
what I'm
like
worried
yours
about.
is they going through the book and they haven't expended themselves beyond what's in the zeitgeist, I guess.
It's like a doctor who's like just listening for the usual pains he knows, and it's just like, oh well, take 2 of these. Okay, bye.
Yes. Only
Yeah.
to find out that it's cancer or some serious thing, not a headache, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like, this all the stuff that I'm learning over the last few years, I have never heard even a hint of that in therapy. And also I feel like I'm very worried about going to a therapist and having to explain life to them.
Yeah.
And then getting help. And I feel like a woman at least knows sort of oppression, rather than telling a privileged dude who has to kind of put himself in the position, maybe never having been outside of Germany and not knowing anything about anything except what he's been taught, and together with the weird kind of I know everything there is mindset we're being taught. I am somewhat worried, but at the same time, I'm also recognizing that I'm getting into this thing where I think I'm too advanced to be understood.
That's what I worry about too.
So I have
the
to
second problem there.
So I have to stop myself from being too.
But that's why I'm thinking in your particular state, you need a refresher or a re-screening from her.
I need help with something very specific, and I know what it is, but I need also someone who understands that. And I guess I'm afraid of the same thing of a person finding a different problem because they don't understand what I'm saying.
I like therapists that specialize in writers, like a writer therapist. That would be great. Like
I bet they have that in America.
fuck my life. I just need help writing. Can you do that for me?
Like a music therapist.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
By the way, oh no, don't forget to mention whatever game that you're playing. I feel like.
Oh yeah, sure. No, I mean, I'm pretty much done with the topic. And if we want to talk about old games that we've picked up again, I have been playing 18 Wheels of Steel, Pedal to the Metal.
Such a hardcore name for a game.
I have,
and yet it doesn't look that hardcore.
No,
it is barely a game at all. It's like really just drive from one spot to the other, and it just takes a while.
I feel like it's that therapeutic and
but I still like it so much. It's like really the laziest type of, you just have like a street. Here's a container, drive it there. Take that container, drive it there. That's the game. Nothing else happens.
But then you hate Death Stranding. Seems like walking is your problem here.
Because if I had to keep the truck from falling over all the time, I would hate that game.
Is that the one that was set up in a futuristic way and a dark one where...
Death Stranding?
Yeah, which one was the one also about delivery, almost like a Chinese, Japanese feel?
Oh, you mean Cloudpunk?
I don't know what it is, but
like a 3D pixel game. But it was a city, and I was driving around with a flying car. Yeah, that's Cloudpunk. No, I hated that because the writing was shit.
Oh, okay.
Good core idea, but holy shit, was it bad? And it was so easy to do this better.
It's a shame because it looked so nice.
It looked so nice. Well. But so I'm enjoying that a lot. And of course I've never really played it. I've been fascinated with these games, but I've never played it more than a minute. And now I've been playing it a couple of hours, and it's not like more happens, but I'm really enjoying it. And of course I keep thinking about I want to do that. Because it's so simple. Except it's not simple to build an open world like that.
Stealth trucking.
Well, you still have your
stealth trucking.
to
There's
develop.
2 more ideas I have. Because the first one that I had was, I call it heavy metal hauling. And so since I'm now thinking about it, I was thinking maybe this could be a game. I could reinvent this as a game where you drive band equipment of different metal bands around, and then they chat, like a tour bus type of thing. Or a thought I had earlier. 18 meals on wheels.
Okay. Your true love. Food and wheels. Truckers. Together.
That's nice.
I don't know what that game is gonna be yet, but I wanna do that.
Something about feeding the poor with your huge truck.
Nice. That's even nicer. Okay. Gangsta.
Actually, I have a list with stupid puns. There's another one I really wanna do.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
And I feel like I have been saving it because I feel like I just want to make this game and then show you guys, but it's not even good. It's just dumb.
Babe, the joke is not funny when you start laughing at your own shit before we
But
laugh.
I'm gonna be the only person laughing here.
Okay.
We're laughing
Not
about
even
him laughing about this.
Because the other thing I was thinking, making another one of the like everything is awful.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, of a situation where something, like a friend group, and then I don't know. See, that's the problem. I don't know how to explain it to make it as funny as it is in my head. No, I'm gonna save that one.
Yeah.
It's not.
Come on.
Cliffhanger!
It's not gonna land now if I tell you.
Yeah.
It cracks me up just because it's dumb. It's like I have like a list of dumb character names that I want to use in games, like Billy Relish and Villain Dafoe,
Oh.
and like dumb, like that level
Yeah.
of right. And
Yeah.
so the title is the same level of dumb. It's not as good as 18 Meals on Wheels. Just kind of cracks me up, but it cracks me up how dumb it is, and so I feel like I need to make a game that justifies the dumb title first.
Can we at least know the title?
But that's the whole thing that's not gonna land, I feel like.
No,
You
just try us. You
just
don't.
wanted to ruin it. I get it.
Oh, now it's you that. I thought you were
Okay.
disappointed. Now.
No, we're gonna learn of it eventually.
Never.
Okay, so I was thinking of something where you have a friend group, and maybe I feel like I don't know why I want to make so much stuff about camp, because I've never been at camp or anything. It's just I like kind of the idea of a friend group and to have one annoying character who happens to be a bear. And he's like a Vinky type annoying character, and that it's sort of about that and whatever happens there. And it came to me just because, and I don't know how it's just the usual dumb stuff that comes to me. I wanted to call it Poopington the Shit Bear. That's,
wow.
and so he's the annoying character. Who's always like, oh, you're not.
Poopington.
And just the shit bear that just cracks me up so much.
Such
Let
a weird
somebody
humor.
help him.
What's wrong with it?
Oh, we need to find another you that understands you, Joey.
That is the level of stupid that just kills me.
Look at your face. But it's a wonderment when he's laughing like that. You're right.
I love it. But I don't think we can top that.
Yeah, no.
No way.
Good stuff. I have like a literal list called Dumb Thoughts. That is just full of dumb things.
Yeah. I just thought about one of these this week. Alpaca-apocalypse?
Alpaca-apocalypse.
Not sure
Hey, I can
how it
pronounce
happens, but if the alpacas take over the world.
Oh, that's a different one.
Alpaca-apocalypse. Yes, the other one was.
Alpaca-apocalypse.
The other one was Apocapolis. It's a city.
Post-apocalypse.
Post-apocapolis, yeah.
Oh, that's where it works well together. What?
Oh.
I don't know what they're saying.
Huh?
I don't know what you guys are saying.
Yeah, no, he didn't have to make it, so.
One of the things I've written here is, forgive me, Daddy, for I have sinned. Instead of forgive me, Father.
Right.
Calls me daddy.
I don't know that I don't know. There's like some of these weird. I don't know. There's there's an entry that just says zesty lemon. I don't know what that's about.
That's hilarious. Can I see my favorite if there's any?
What's your favorite?
I don't know. Multi-dudes.
Ah, yeah, multi-dudes. I contain multi-dudes.
Multitudes. I see.
Oh, wow.
What's the title of this episode, by the way?
What were you thinking? Yeah, answer him.
Let's see. I'm gonna read it. It's Anticrastination. Oh, you hid it from us, so you could.
I love these surprises.
What were you thinking of? I got 99 problems, but a bitch is like 17 of them.
You gotta kill him if you read more of this.
That speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Wow, okay.
Oh no.
Go on, one last to close it up.
Notifications, like naughty. Notifications.
Oh, that was thinking for porn games. Have a notification.
Peanut, more like peanut butters.
What?
Butts. Peanuts, more like peen butts.
See, this is... Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Oh, escalator. I wonder if a melon and a lemon ever met and thought, we are not so different, you and I.
That's a proper joke.
Yes, because that is a proper joke.
And that's it for today.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Yes, thanks for tuning in.
Join our Discord. It's somewhere down there. Or just go on the website.
Wait, I'm gonna do the cool...
Valhalla! Witness me!
Mad Max.
Witness
Such a
me!
good movie.
Oh.
Yes. Anyway, thanks for joining us, as she said, and we will probably see you next week, right?
Yeah.
Yes, witness me.
Witness me.
Bye!
Bye! Do you also want to yell bye?
Bye-bye.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, bye!
Bye-bye.